Hi, I'm Lynn from L&J Goods. I am so excited about my projects this week. I've taken a dollar store cement utensil holder, a simple papier-mâché box, and I'm transforming them into the most amazing containers using the IOD, Autumn Cottage, and Oak Leaves and Acorns. I think you're gonna really love this project. First up is this utensil holder that I found at a dollar store for $4.99. This is IOD's Autumn Cottage mold. I'm going to pour some resin, but I want my pieces to unmold and remain a little more flexible than normal. So I reduce the amount of hardener in my mixture of 2-part resin. This is ALUMILITE's Quickset resin. I use about half of part B, which is the hardener. You'll have to play around with your proportions and see what works for you. Then I mix it thoroughly until that mixture of part A and part B starts to feel a little bit warm in my hand, and then I pour it into the molds. Allow the resin to set up. It's going to take probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Then you'll release them from the mold and you'll see that they pop right out and are extremely flexible. This is going to allow me to embed these into the PENTART product that I'll be using on this curved surface. This is PENTART's Structure Plaster. I'm going to use the IOD silicone blade to begin to apply this over that utensil holder. I'm going to start with just one side, the area where I'm going to be applying my resin castings. The Structure Plaster is beautifully textured. It dries to a super hard finish, and when I apply the resin castings into the wet structure plaster, the structure plaster acts kind of like a grout when you're tiling. When you apply the resin casting into that structure plaster, it's going to cure and hold firmly in place. I'll just need to hold it there to secure it until it begins to create that bond. With those soft castings, I'm going to use scissors to trim away some of the excess leaves so that they fit together. And I'll fit these over the bottom half of the pumpkin and into that structure plaster. I'll use PENTART's Heavy Body Gel to apply to the areas that are going to overlap the pumpkin. That'll help these castings adhere to the pumpkin, and then the rest of the lower part of the leaves will embed into that wet structure plaster. You'll just need to hold them in place until they establish that adhesion. Once the castings have been set into the plaster, I'll go ahead and apply the structure plaster to the rest of the pot. Then set this aside to dry completely. Now let's create that faux terracotta look. This is Fusion's iron clay. It is just the perfect color for creating a terracotta effect. I'm also mixing in a little bit of Fusion Fresco until it's just kind of lumpy so that I can add some additional texture over those castings and over the plaster. I like the texture to be somewhat like the consistency of brownie batter. Using an old brush, go ahead and apply that paint and fresco mixture over the entire pot. I use a stippling motion and a very light brushing technique so that I don't flatten out all of the texture from the fresco. You can't come around. Then set this aside to dry completely. To achieve the look of that aged terracotta, I'm going to use Debbie's DIY white wax over the entire surface. Add a little bit of Debbie's DIY clear wax over the surface to act as an eraser and pull away any of that excess white wax. Just use a soft cloth. And remove that wax that's on the surface, allowing the white wax to settle into all of the detail of the molds and the structure plaster. As a last step, I'm going to take a little bit of the dry fresco powder and that wax brush and brush it into the wet wax. I'll remove the excess where I want to. This just gives it a little bit of even extra chalkiness and really helps to amplify that aged look of terracotta. I love this project so much. Let me know in the comments if this is something you think you would try. The next project is this papier-mâché box that I have transformed into a really pretty fall container using air dry clay, IODs, oak leaves, and acorns mold, and the crockery stamp. I'll start by base coating the bottom of the box with a white paint. First, let's make that clay label. Start with a soft ball of clay and shape it into kind of an oval shape. I use the IOD brayer to flatten it out. Then I use a crockery stamp to press into the clay. This is called debossing. It's going to create the pattern of that stamp right into the clay. Then I'll tear away any excess clay to have a roughly oval shape. Next, I'm going to cast several of the oak leaves and acorns because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use. I use cornstarch to keep the air dry clay from sticking, press it into those molds, and then remove the excess with my thumb using the micro rim as a guide. This is PENTART's chalky paint in sand. I'm going to use this to base coat my entire box. The PENTART chalky is very thick paint and it is extremely pigmented. You'll need to use a little bit of water to really make it stretch and move and create the kind of texture that you like in your painted surfaces. Once I had applied the paint and it dried, I realized that I wanted it to be a little more gray, so I added a little bit of PENTART's Country Green, and that totally toned it down and made it more of a neutral gray color. I saved the excess in a little container. I'll be using that later to apply as a glaze. Once I decide on a layout, I'm using PENTART's Heavy Body Gel to glue the clay castings in place. Of course, I'll change my mind, I'll remove some, I'll rearrange until I get exactly the look that I want. Set this aside until the clay hardens off. I'm going to mix up a glaze to brush over the clay castings. This is that reserved paint that I had set aside, that little mixture. I've added just a touch of black paint to that and then mixed all of the paint into Fusion's clear glaze. Using a wet brush, I apply that mixture over the entire surface of the top of the box and really work down into all of the areas between the dry clay castings. While that glaze is still wet, use a damp paper towel or soft cloth to remove the excess, allowing that glaze to settle into the deepest areas of the top of the box and into all of the detail on those molds. I used a little bit of my leftover paint mixture to paint the trim area on the inside of the box, and then I'll get ready to do some decoupage. This is a plaid from last year's ROYCYCLED Christmas release. Trace the top of the box and then watercut it. Then I used PENTART's Decoupage varnish and glue to apply this paper to the inside of the top of the box. We are so thankful that you have decided to spend a few moments with us here at L&J Goods. I've listed all of the products that I've used in today's video in the description box below. We appreciate you watching so much and are always so happy to hear feedback on what you think of the projects that we have shown you today. To decoupage the outside of the box, I've chosen this pattern from another ROYCYCLED release. This is called Crockery Textures. I'm using the PENTART Decoupage varnish and glue to decoupage this paper in place around the outside of the box. After the paper has dried, I use a little sanding pad to remove the excess from around the edges and give it a nice clean finish. Then I'll take that reserved paint that I had put aside and touch up any spots that need to be repainted. I also dipped my brush into a little bit of the clear glaze and lightly brushed randomly over the paper around the outside of the box. To finish, I just wrapped a little jute twine around the outside of the box. Let us know what you think of this project in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here today at L&J Goods. You can find all of the products that we used listed in the description box below. You can find us at lnjgoods.com or at our brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York. Till I know the end of the road.